should we do one that just includes, like, because what includes in the new update also explains, like, a lot of past things that I've got going on in my noggin. So I think that might be a decent place to start. Okay, so I think we'll start with the update with what Sally says specifically. So I don't know if you've listened to it, probably not, because, you're just here to listen, you don't actually partake in, which I don't blame you. But Sally, according to WHRP, the Welcome Home Restoration Project, they say that from like 16 something to 18 something, the audio cuts out for them. They can't hear shit, but we can hear stuff. Basically, the music cuts out, and Sally tells us her scary story of the monster that walks around, and she can hear it every night. And so far that we know of it, she's the only one who can hear it every night.
Sometimes, and no. It is because this town is rumored to have visitors at night. Something from deep within the forest, far beyond the hills and mountains. No one knows what it wants or where it's going. Just that it is persistent. Just that it arrives here. So many stories have risen about their origins, but I know what it is searching for. 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 Searching, 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 searching. It is looking for neighbors who have stayed out past the daytime to gobble them up whole. That is why so few live here. It moves through the streets at night, but it doesn't break into homes. However, on rare instances, it will find itself with an appetite left unsatisfied by its aimless wandering. Even the occasional unfortunate insect that has crossed its path is not enough. Those who have lived through the night say it isn't quiet about it either. They always say you can hear when it gets closer to you. Do you know what sound it makes? I hear it every night. You can hear it too, if you listen. Especially if you wait next to your window. First, there's rustling in the bushes. Then, the scratching on the pavement, on the walls as it crawls up. Finally, if you're quiet, you can hear its guttural sound.
I have drinks ready! She described how it thumps around, like something thumping on walls, and how it drags across the pavement. Okay. I don't think it's a genuine monster at all. I don't think it's like a shadow creature. I think it's someone from the Welcome Home Restoration Project looking around and searching for anything, right? So it's just like some guy named Richard just walking around in there, right? So I think that's the quote-unquote monster. It could be the Ring Ring Man, because the Ring Ring Man is the guy who constantly gets the phone calls in his dreams, and he sees Wally sitting there at the edge of his bed. He's the one with the crazy fucking page that's behind the passcode. You remember me showing you that? Yeah. Yeah. So Ring Ring Man. Okay. So they could be the same guy. Not for certain, but they could be. But Sally basically just scares the shit out of us with this. And that leads me to believe thumping on the walls. Well, if it's a stage set, there's a fourth wall that you can walk through. You know, the like when you look on a stage in a musical, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 walls, and the 4 wall is the empty wall that faces the audience, and you're not supposed to break that wall. Well, if the fourth wall is there, like if there's not an actual wall there, wouldn't the Welcome Home Restoration Project just like already found these bitches, already put them in boxes, some shit, be like, oh my god, you'll never believe what the fuck we found. Holy fucking shit, these bitches are alive. They're alive, right? So I've explained this to you, but for the purpose of this, once upon a time, the set of Welcome Home was just 3 walls and an invisible fourth wall where the cameras would be, and everyone would like directors and set and stuff. But then at some point, because this factory has been sitting for years, the show went under, isolation and stuff, because that's the main key points of this entire fucking thing. Clown says so whenever you go to like their homepage. It's like, yeah, this is my welcome home project. Key features that will be in this horror media is isolation, gore, derealization from reality, like all sorts of stuff. I'm like, isolation. What if these bitches were put into a box? Like they built up a fourth wall, painted it to look like a forest, not actually be a forest, and like the characters just don't know that they're trapped inside a box and have been for the past 50 some odd years, right? And that's why there's thumping on walls, but not on any of the houses, because I'm pretty sure if there was thumping on houses, there'd be a door, windows, stuff, right? Like if this was a genuine monster looking to kill somebody, it would go in the house, right? But none of the houses are ever broken into, or at least that we know of so far. So I'm thinking it's someone from the Welcome Home Restoration Project thumping on all the four walls of this boxed in stage, this boxed in set. And they're dragging papers around, dragging items around, stuff that they took back to the museum, yada yada yada. So I think that's why we see the things from like Wally's POV. New theory, which is like one that a lot of the people in Welcome Home agree with, is that the secret videos we see whenever we click on the bugs is present time, quote unquote present time, whenever this, whatever present time is for this time sign, okay? What we see with the bugs is Wally's eyes currently right now. And then what we hear posted on media and merchandise is from the 60s and 70s. And if that theory is true, then it goes along with my boxed in theory of how. And then I suppose you could make the thing against it because they have four seasons there. They have summer, spring, fall, winter, and it's very apparent within the four banners. And even Julie, I believe, says it too, something about snow and rain.
Ooh, me. I've got a scary story that'll make your ears ring with fear.
Julie waved her hand up excitedly and... What? Was that thunder? It's a beautiful day outside.
Maybe it was a little rainy in the morning and sunny in the afternoon. Who's keeping track anyways?
I could see how it's like, well, if it's boxed in and there's a roof over their heads, why haven't they, like, I don't know, looked up at the sky, da da da? And I'm like, what if there's a big skylight that, like, is opened? Because this factory has been sitting here for forever. So either the roof caved in or there was a purpose, like, there was a skylight purposely built. And it tricks the neighbors into thinking that they do live in a real fictive world. It forces them to just hallucinate and use their imagination, right? So that's the boxed in theory that co-alongside with the what Wally sees is present and what we hear is past theory, along with the theory of the monster is someone from the Welcome Home Restoration Project. Another theory that I posted on TikTok a bit ago was the how he's like sawed in half. He's bits and pieces put together, mutilation style, which I really have nothing else to back that up except for that one old art piece of like half of Howdy is yellow and half of him is red. Another thing that I'll be really interested in, this isn't really a theory, but something to add on. Another thing I'll be really interested in once we get more information about it is like why there's only two working clocks and one's on Eddie's wrist and the other one's in Wally's house. That's interesting to me. It's not really a theory, but it's like a connection. There's a lot of like metaphors, common sayings used in the 60s and some still today that are very obvious in Welcome Home. Frank even says some whenever Frank is talking to Poppy with one of the bug audios.
It's like they say, you eat with your eyes first.
Frank is like, you know what they say, you eat with your eyes. And what does Wally do? Eat with his eyes. Home is where the heart is. Home has a heartbeat.
That's what an eye looks like. My eyes are black. I have more eyes than I did before.
And there's like a whole bunch of other literal stuff too, where it's like, oh, ha ha ha, metaphor cliche, you don't take it literally. Unless. So I have a theory that's like how they eat, but it specifically is based around Barnaby. which this theory is very, very loose, considering that there are other two 8-foot tall puppets that could probably also eat, but we never see them do, is that the reason why Barnaby can eat solid foods, such as a hot dog, there's a hole in his mouth, and because he's a bodysuit, he's hollow, so all of the food just goes in there and then rots over time. Which it's really hard to back up and say because there's Poppy and Howdy standing right there.
Poppy eats, doesn't she? I thought she eats like that.
We don't really ever. When I say eat, I mean it's very obvious that Barnaby eats. He's always talking about hot dogs. Always talking about hot dogs. It's a regular at Howdy's place.
Just Poppy.
She does, but I don't know if she ever eats them. We're never told that she eats them. She just bakes them.
She's like,
She likes to have her cake. She doesn't like to eat it too.
howdy, I can see you eating. He's a businessman. He ain't got time.
Oh, he literally clown says it like, oh, if he were to eat, it'd be like a leafy bowl of greens. That's it, because he's a caterpillar. What else? What else? What else? What's your opinion on the Julie with a sledgehammer? You know the photo I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
Not yet.
I'm very, very, very interested to see the story around that photo, considering I want to know so much.
Well, poppies are a symbol of remembrance, and there are eyeballs on that flower too, which is to symbolize that Wally is watching, right? And then Jewel is staring right at us. So is it? I don't know how to describe it, but is it like in that moment she gains sentience and is fully self-aware? Also, who's the lady behind her, and why does she have a sledgehammer that I assume is very bloody? I wonder if it's like her in-world voice actor or her puppeteer. She's got two right hands as well. I don't know if that was an accident or on purpose, but. And then Julie can talk with flowers. But then again, a lot of their foods are fake, which we need to talk about. Okay, another theory. Howdy is fully self-aware. It is not like a little bit self-aware or just like a small amount. He's fully self-aware. Because in the audio where he's talking with Sally.
Let's see. Bubble Blast Soap Flakes. Oh, what a strange name.
Ha! Yeah, it's a marketing thing. Makes them sound squeaky clean for your diet, eh?
Why, yes, I suppose it does. All right, then. I'll take one of those boxes of Bubble Blast Instant Mash, a bag of Old McDonald's porridge oat, one loaf of bouncy yellow bread,
Sponge.
and a box of that nice new sunshine cereal you introduced me to last week.
Chips and sauce.
He's making up lies out of his ass like it's Thanksgiving and he's the whole turkey. He is coming up with so much. Shut the fuck up. I am talking about how he's feeding Sally wood chips and you can't. But he is like selling Sally, like when she's like, oh yes, the sunshine brand of cereal, he goes, wood chips. He says wood chips. And when he's selling mashed potatoes, which he has sold to her multiple times before, except this time was a new brand, it was soap. It was not mashed potatoes, it was soap. So he is fully aware that this food is not food and just fake food. And he's lying to them. Why is he lying? Who told him to lie? What conscience is making him lie? And is he aware that maybe that like everything has been shut down and there's no way for them to get actual any food anymore? How aware is he? Because he's aware. Maybe not the same way Wally is aware, but he's aware. And I think they're all aware that they're puppets too. Maybe. Barnaby did say the teeth marks, and Frank was the only one with fangs.
Hey! Who took a bite out of my apple? I think I see fang marks, Frank.
These fangs aren't real and you know that!
Oh, God, I just had it in my head. There's an older theory of mine that's still relevant to this day. What was it? Right. The phone that I showed you how it's got like all the colors and then two dots missing, and then same with the phone on Clown's homepage. It's the exact fucking same thing, except maybe some colors are switched around, but there's two black dots that are just gone. I've told you this over and over again. There are two fucking characters. There's that bluebird bitch, and then there's another guy who I can't fucking remember, but I know there's another guy. Where did they go? Where did they go? Last time I checked, the bluebird got sacrificed into some dollop toy or some shit, right? And then somebody else pointed out that in the audio with Frank, whenever they're in the garden, and it's Frank and Barnaby talking and like constantly groaning about puppets, which that's another thing I noticed that I'll come back to. But in the garden on that specific photo, there's like I don't know how many residents, but there's toothpicks or like clothespins that are standing straight up, and then there's one buried face down. So I don't know if that symbolizes one member has recently been sacrificed or some shit, which I don't know how that aligns to the the other theory of the portal that I have, which is the black spot in the eyeball. If this means that someone else is about to get sacrificed. That and something, well, I feel like that something is Wally, but there's something that's a common theme throughout the page that wants out, and Wally wants to be let in. Do I know what in is specifically? No. Oh, so my portal theory, I've told you, it's the black spot underneath home, and then how on the secret page there's another spot that's very similar to it. They're like literally the exact same fucking theme. Well, I'm thinking like it's a portal, but then again, if it is a portal, then that kind of like diminishes my boxed in theory. But I've got so many theories, I'm just putting my chips all in different places. I won't put them all in one court. We strategizing here. Anything else? Oh, the fact that they were all sentient in the show, and it wasn't just Wally that talks to the viewer specifically. Well, maybe just Wally that talks to the viewer, but they all talk to the narrator. Like every last one of them talked to the narrator. I just remembered something else. So today, while I was at work and I was just like doing my little thing, I started thinking about like all of the different moments where Wally quote unquote dissociates in the tapes. And I've noticed, I'm pretty sure, I'm like 80%, 90% certain that in every single recording, the neighbors are having not like a genuine argument, but like a form of dispute. You know, with Frank and Barnaby, they're irritated with each other, and even Frank and Julie, even though they're best friends, are like teasing each other, like playful banter.
This place is like somebody's memory of a town, and the memory's fading. It's like there was never anything here but jungle.
Stop saying shit like that. It's unprofessional.
Oh, is that what I'm going for here?
Just want you to stop saying odd shit.
Same thing with Howdy and Barnaby, or like, yeah, Howdy is in distress talking about his family. And then Poppy's always in distress. And Howdy was probably in distress whenever he was talking with Sal and having to lie about certain things. But like in almost every single fucking recording, it was either a dispute or high stress. Something. Just uncomfortable vibes. Vibes that were not happy. Like 100% happy. Where everybody was getting along. And that's when Wally would dissociate. From who? What? Home? Home who does Morse code for help that I thought was hello? Also, this isn't a theory, I'm just, well, actually, no. This is a theory. So, because it's the 1960s and 70s, which, this is, oh, right, this is the isolation theory and growing up theory that I have in my head. Back in the height of the show, it was in the 60s and 70s. Obviously, being gay was not even thought of at this point. It was wild, crazy to even suggest such an obscene idea under our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Are you serious? So, obviously in the 60s and 70s, they were not going to portray Frank and Eddie together. So, that is why we see Frank and Julie paired together.
It wasn't long before another knock was heard at the door. When Sally opened it this time, she revealed Julie Joyful and Frank Frankly.
Franklin Juliet.
That's not my
What a
name.
dashing couple you two make.
Which, honestly, it's kind of funny to me because it's like that one thing in high school where the gay guy is dating a girl because he isn't ready to come out of the closet. That's Frank. But so this adds to the theory of like, as they're isolated in whatever they're at, wherever they are, no one to interact them, no one to give them a script, no one to tell them this, that, and the third. They are like finding out who they are as existing beings. So that is like where we see Eddie find out they're non-binary, and then Poppy's trans and likes squirrels, and Eddie is gay, and then Frank and Eddie get married, which I found out is canon. It is canon. So eventually it's gonna happen. And when it happens, Ricky, when I get you, Ricky. Oh, Ricky, when I get you, Ricky, when I get you, Ricky. God. Oh, when it happens, I'm gonna be so ecstatic. So it's like the finding yourself theory kind of situation. Coming out of the closet theory. The gay theory. I don't know what to call it. I like the finding yourself. And if that's the case, then does that mean all of the other characters have a more finite kind of identity they associate with? Like, I'm looking at Sally. There's no way Sally is straight. Look at her. She's wearing jeans on jeans. She's wearing a two-piece romper. And a sweater underneath it, too. A big-ass, fucking puffy-ass sleeve sweater. Also, when are we gonna see, like, the moon designed for her? I know it's not gonna be anytime soon, but, like, there's a sun and a moon on her little house. So it's like, when are we going to see evil Sally? I don't know. Maybe I'm just delulu and thinking about this too much. This is my Roman Empire, so. Oh, the fact that almost every single, like, biography that the puppets have on the neighborhood page, each one of them says that, like, oh, Julie came from a cave, Frank came from out of town, Barnaby came from a farm, Howdy came from an apple, Eddie came from another town, Poppy came from a tree, Sally came from the sky, but Wally was just straight up always there. Wally was there. A lot of people want to focus on the media and what's put out here, but I also think we need to focus on Clown because they do what I do. They spoil on themselves. Which I have a bad habit of doing that too, so I can't even say nothing, but Clown says some things and like draws certain things that are still canon where I'm like, I know where this puzzle piece goes. I know where this one's a hint. So like them drawing home a lot, or like home being one of the main things, like I want to know why there's a milk carton. Just a lone milk carton. Also, since 1, 2, 3 have little powers, and this one's sentient, does that mean the rest of them? Oh, well, this one knows about the monster. Does that mean everyone else gets a little no-no? What's Barnaby's? We've got no shit for all for Barnaby. Is Barnaby just the dumb one? Is he the 2D character? Is he secretly dumber than Wally and we just don't know it yet? Also, not a theory again, but a little tiny thing that I love is that Poppy, whenever she answers the phone, still answers it as if she lives with her entire family still.
Hello, this is the partridge nest. Oh, I mean, this is Poppy.
Okay, I think I've said everything I wanted to say. Also, that Jonesy has multiple eyes. I'll never get over that. I'll never get over that. No wonder he has such a floppy mess of hair. Got eyeballs everywhere. Well, strong. Eddie is super fucking strong. Bitch can lift up Barnaby over his damn head. And he's like 4 foot. Barnaby's a giant 8-foot fat dog. Like, and we never see him pick up Home. And Home is a house. A house. Do they have plumbing? They need to use the bathroom, no, but they cook. And then Frank's gelatin molds. Those are genuine gelatin molds. Yeah. Do they have plumbing? Where do they get their water? Do they have a well? Do they have a well we don't know about? A well in the woods? But with my theory, with the box-in theory, it's just painted woods. It's not real woods. Is it?
Maybe they like. Well, if Julie's talking about having snow and rain, maybe it's more like when there's a hole there. It's like there's no way to know because.
Do they collect the rain?
If there is hole, well, either they have the skylights, maybe some of the skylights are open, or there's a hole in the I don't think the hole in the roof, because if there was a hole in the roof, the set would be more.
Weathered down.
Yes. I mean, they could collect rainwater.
I was just thinking of that. Because we never hear any faucets running. But in order to make gelatin molds, you kind of need water to soften up the gelatin. Could you really use anything else?
Do they cook or do they cook?
They use peanut butter. Or, well, peanut butter. Because we know how to. Which you didn't get to see. Wait, did I show you how Wally eats with his eyes? How it kind of like all blacks. Bro just has iron deficiency. It's not that serious.
We're not getting actual food anymore. Does Wally need to eat actual food? Or does he?
Well, that's the thing. They got apples. I don't know if the apples were real or fake. I don't know where the fuck the apples came from. I don't know where the shit's
running
coming
out
from.
if it's eating.
And on top of that, do the other puppets eat? And are there special ways that they eat?
That too, but I'm saying like so far Wally's the only one that can actually take food and make it disappear.
Yeah. And Barnaby just throws shit down his gullet. That's my theory, though. It's not. But Wally for sure does eat. He eats. Which, you know, eat with your eyes. And then again, apple of my eye. That's another one that I was thinking of. Apple of my eye. I was obsessed with fucking apples and just looking at them. That, and this is just 5% still. All of these theories are based upon 5% of the entire shit that's been put out. 5 fucking percent. You know, from the last update, I thought that we'd be at like 15, 20, because such a good chunk was handed out. And when Clown was like, oh yeah, no, we're still at 5%, I was like, 5.
What is your ass gonna do when it's 7%?
My ass is gonna go insane. God, could you imagine 30%? I think about that. Oh, I can't do Morse code. God, I need.
All I can think of is like it's Wally and it's like
Oh my god.
you should drop it
For
your home personified one.
Oh my.
Little while.
you you're the bane of my existence.
Giving you fruitful ideas, man.
Which Barnaby has always been chill with it. Like, there's no hesitation when it comes with Barnaby. And I think that's because he grew up on a farm as the son of a chicken who was a single mother. No drama. Which, oh, I hope we learn more about Mrs. Beagle. I hope we learn more about Mrs. Beagle. I understand if she's like just a side character and she doesn't have any trauma and is just untouched, which I will also be thankful for. But oh, if she does, I'd love to know. I am here for Mrs. Beagle. The Beagle family, TBH, they're all lovely. And Clown seems to really love home, too. So that's making me very, very curious. Clown is like, loves home. Okay, you know those like TikTok memes where there's like, so character isn't gay, and then they're like, oh yeah, then explain this. And they just color drop the flag. My brain did that aromantic with Wally, because he literally is that. I could go in and color drop this mother. Hold on. Let me just be delusional for a second. Where's the this bastard? Look. My flag is right there. It's literally bam. 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 It's literally the aromantic flag. And you cannot tell me otherwise. He has all the colors. And in the interview, he's like, whenever the interviewer's like, so, do you do any romance? And was like, oh, not really. I kind of just see everybody as friends. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? I swear to God, if Barnaby and Wally get into like a lovely little thing of a queer platonic relationship, I'm gonna lose my shit. You're telling me we get proper Arrow Ace representation in media for once.